And welcome to OP Digital Blueprint Unveiling Success. Now, what are we talking about? We're talking about success. So, we have a lovely topic today: why do businesses fail and why we don't? And I'm going to pass it across to Red because I know my colleague here has some great ideas. So, over to you, Red.
Thanks, Andy. Nice to see you, Collins. Always good to be here. Missing our other sidekick, Gina Lever. Hope she's well, wherever you are. Yeah, good topic this is. I was talking about this on my live today about why businesses fail generally and why we are so different from them. And I was outlining quite a lot of the reasons. And mainly, there is certain elements to why businesses generally fail online. And when I was researching this today for my live, I noticed that one of the statistics that is very prevalent is that within 2 years, any startup business online fails to the token of 90% fail. So that is a huge, huge amount of businesses. And also, if you're researching that as well, there's been some monumental, expensive startup fails in the past, which were quite interesting, that literally wiped out millions of people's money because they invested in them. Juice companies, there was We Walk or something as well. There was quite a few big companies anyway. I didn't really take too much notice, but one of the main reasons why companies fail is insufficient funding. That's the first topic that I'm going to talk about. Now, if you haven't got the right capital to cover the costs of literally hundreds of different areas that you only find out about once you get going, then you are destined to failure. Now, we are very lucky with our business. We knew it before anyway, but certainly moving forward into the next phase, we are a privately owned company by our CEO, Ash Mufareh. The Mufareh family are the backers. They are the people who have secured the funds. Ash, in his own right, was very wealthy anyway, and he is pumping his own money into this business. Obviously, he wants the business to succeed, to recoup those funds that he's put into it. But it means that we are not beholden to any shareholders, bankers, lenders, outside influences. Basically, we have full control over our own business. But that is one of the main reasons: insufficient funding. Also, a very interesting one is poor marketing. Now, if you don't get eyes on your product or what you are trying to sell, guess what happens? You're not going to sell it, right? Eyes on your product is what makes sales. So your marketing strategy, whatever it may be, has to be top drawer. Now, we certainly know firsthand that previously the marketing strategy of OnPassive was certainly one that blew a lot of us away. We had the live laser shows on front of Burj Khalifa, the largest, tallest building in the world. We had every billboard in every mall in Dubai, including the largest billboard at the ice skating ring. We had it over the front of the metro station. We had one outing, I believe, on the Ferris wheel, if you remember, as well. Plus all the other add-ons, etc., that were going around in Dubai and India as well. That is proper marketing. Obviously, there was other marketing going on in the background as well with collaborations, etc. But those are the ones that we saw. Now, that is proper marketing. That is something that is taken seriously, and an awful lot of money was thrown at it. I firmly believe that it is something that will be happening in the future. Why wouldn't it? He knows how to do it. And the other important thing is you have to think of your web page, your first port of call that people are going to research. And if your SEO, which is your search engine optimization, isn't high enough, guess what? You're not going to get seen. Generally speaking, take your own situation. When you go onto Google or Bing or whatever search engine you use on a daily basis and you type in something, you click enter, and your first page comes up there. There'll be sponsored pages, and you might scroll onto the second page if you're lucky. And if you're not on the first or second page, you might as well forget it. So having that ranking and search engine optimization is key to having a successful business. I firmly believe that with us and what the company are going to do, that ranking will shoot up onto that first page very, very quickly. And especially when we will be using all of the right keywords, phrases, etc., that is not going to be a problem. And the last one that I'm going to talk about is customer demand. Why is that important for a success of the business? It's no point in having a desire to manufacture, produce something that you like, that you think will do well, if you haven't done the right market research. It has to be an in-demand product and or service that customers want to buy. If you are going for niche marketing, that's absolutely fine. If you are on a global scale like we are, you have to have things that are wanted globally. And again, this is where I firmly believe that the strategy, the applications, products and services that we're going to be producing are in high demand. They are needed. Why? Because they are solving a solution to people's problems. And this is where, again, is going to be crucial and key to the success of our business. We are producing things that people will want because it's going to make their life easier, whether it's business or whether it's personal. So you really have to look at the reasons behind why companies fail online to be able to ascertain, right, this is why they fail. Let's make sure that we have got all of those things in place so that we're not going to be part of that equation. And I firmly believe that moving forward into the next phase, our CEO's got all those bases covered. Obviously, we're speculating at this point because we don't know what the next phase is. But if you cast your memories back to what we've already done, and it was a huge success, guys, when we started. Remember, we weren't closed down. We were made to stop because of internal problems that they had with the business. The actual business model was a huge success. We got off the ground phenomenally well in the first 2-3 weeks. If you remember, it was absolutely flying in that first month, to the point where things started freezing up because of the amount of traffic. We know we can do it again. And I firmly believe that into the next phase, all of these areas I've just told you about will be covered, and we will be very pleasantly surprised. Back to you, Andy.
Thanks, Red. This is great. I mean, if we think about it, any major business, any business that succeeds is a problem solver. They provide solutions to issues. But above all, they pander to customer demands. In other words, they're looking for what customers want, and they provide these solutions for those customers. So we've had, as Red said, we've had some epic fails. People like Kodak, the film company, well, they ignored the opportunity to look at the digital shift. And they went under. You've got BlackBerry, the phone company that actually, you know, stuck to the old technology and didn't wish to move forward to the new. You've got Blockbuster, the old video company that actually ignored going on to things like streaming, and therefore just collapsed. So, and things like MySpace, we had originally, you know, the social media. We had Facebook, and we had MySpace, and they fell behind in that social media aspect. So why are we different? What is Ash doing that's different? Well, he is going to pander to customer demands. He is going to provide solutions to issues and problems, but at a value for money proposition, not an overpayment. And he's more than likely, because as Red said, we didn't fail last time. There were internal issues. The company was doing fantastically. And he's learnt from that, and moving forward, we're not only providing new technology, Ash's team is solving the problems that most individuals, small companies, etc., come up against at a value for money proposition, and it's all new technology. So why would it have the inkling or the possibility of even being able to fail? Collins, what are your thoughts?
Thank you. Thank you, Andy. Red, you just really opened it. And whilst Red was talking, I was just thinking a lot, especially in a company. Yeah, and you've mentioned a lot about other technology companies. So when I look at it from the technology standpoint, most company, IT company, if you look at it, most of them don't survive. One of the reasons is about, you have weak leadership. What is the vision of the company? When you have the head, if the head or the leaders are weak, your company is bound to fail. But what do we get here in this company? We look at Mr. Ash Mufara. He's a strong leader. He knows exactly what he needs to do, And then secondly, there is one thing I always think about: the business model. If the business model is weak, it's not really strong, not solid, no clear direction. What do you want to achieve? How do you generate income to make sure the business stand is sustainable? The business will collapse. Immediately you come out, it will collapse. But look at when we came out, it was massive, like Ray said, little internal issue make it, but it's not like the business will stop. I said, no, we have to put a pause. That's one of the things. Secondly is adaptability. Ash is master of technology, and he surrounds himself with those who understand the market, knows what the people want, knows what customer want. So adaptability is one of the things. You mentioned about Nokia. Nokia failed because they refused to adapt. Digital transformation, they stayed with the analog way of doing things. And what happened when other companies were digitalized their system? They stuck with the old system because they believe they already have a greater market share in the phone industry. But they collapse. It is so easy to rise and collapse. Then when you have someone who has a clear vision, know that, okay, we need to embrace change when it is needed. It is really key for every company to succeed. And that is exactly what Mr. Ashmufara is doing. And one other strong point which I want to share is timing. If you have very bad timing, you will fail. When do you launch? When do you go out to the market? Have you studied when you are going out or coming in? Because we'll be hearing a lot of people talking about, when are we going to the market? No, there is time for that. If you get the timing wrong, you're already finished. From day one, you will collapse. But when you get the timing right, it is a no-brainer. Most IT companies, if you look at it, ask yourself when they come out with products. If you look at the trend, when do they come out? They're not coming out because they want to come. They can have millions or hundreds of products. But ask yourself, why will they release a product at a certain time, a certain month, and certain hour? Is because of timing. You know, you mess up with the time, then it's finished. You look at economic downturn and you say, no, let me push this product out. Your product will fail, you know, because you need to look at the demand and supply, what is really happening, you know. And Red always talk about customer focus. Are you really customer focused? Are you thinking about the customer? When you want to bring something out, do you do it because you want to do it, or do you listen? We have the likes of Mr. Ashmofara who listen, know what is happening, understand the customer need, knows that, okay, this is what we need to put because this is what will really hit the market. This is the demand. There is no need to build something of which nobody needs it. No need to build it. You need to develop something and produce something which is of high demand needed. So, and that's what I just want to share here a little bit.
Thanks, Collins. It is an interesting one, and you know, Red mentioned it earlier about the cash flow scenario. This is a very important one, and when you have the backing and the mindset and ability to create cash and create cash flow, then it all leads towards good business anyway. So, Red, I know we've talked about customer demands and what have you, but what can you add as far as where we're likely to be going and what this is likely to achieve for customers?
I've talked about this, and this is just me talking, by the way, but this is kind of, I firmly believe that moving into the next phase, the relationship between the business and the customer is going to be something that we've never experienced before. And I've said it on many, many occasions. I think we are going to be a business that has gone that full circle back to the old days of when you've got your hardware store down the road, you walk in there and you say, can I have 3 screws? And I'll say, what sort? And one of this size, and one with a cross, and they want to do this. And that relationship where you build a bond, you build a trust between the customer and the person who is selling you those goods and products. Customer retention, in my opinion, is the #1 focus that we should all have in our own business. Why? Because it's damn hard to get a customer. You know, it's hard work to get that one customer. So why not put all your effort into making sure that customer is happy, making sure that that customer has everything that they want and needs and help and all the rest of it. Why? Because that customer becomes a repeat buyer. And guess what? When that customer is a repeat buyer, you are not looking for another customer to replace that one. I'll give you an example, and it's one thing that I've never understood in my whole life, but it happens all the time, especially here in the UK. Car insurance, okay? You go online, you look for car insurance, you get a quote, you sign up, happy days, you got a really nice quote, thanks very much, and it runs for a year. It comes round to renewal, you get your new renewal quote, and inevitably, it's a lot more than what you first went. So you go back onto the compare websites and you look for another insurance. Sometimes you'll even see the same insurance company that you've already with at a cheaper rate online, but yours is more. Now that doesn't make sense to me. So you then go back to your insurance company, you say, I'm leaving because it's too much. Hang on, we will pass you on to customer retention. You then have to go through the whole rigmarole with customer retention to try and get the price down just to stay. What a waste of people's time, people's effort. It erodes confidence in you and the business because they're not giving you the best deal. They're not looking after you. So inevitably, even if you get the price down, you end up going somewhere else because you can't be bothered to deal with them. they've lost you as a customer, which means they have to replace you as a customer just to stand still in their profitability for their business. If we can switch that mindset around, and I firmly believe that this is going to be part and parcel of what the next phase of business is, that relationship that we have between us and the customer, making sure they're looked after, making sure we are helping them, making sure they've got everything they need. Can we do any more for you? Building that trust element, then more and more people will come on board, feel the good vibe, feel part of the community like we all are now, waiting for the next phase. And that is just going to build in momentum as far as the spirit of a business, a good business, is concerned. Customer retention, customer satisfaction, in my opinion, is the #1 way to succeed online and any other business, because you're getting repeat trade that doesn't cost you any money, doesn't need to advertise, all the rest of it. All you're doing is making sure they're happy. And that for me is going to be key into the next phase. Back to you, Andy.
Thanks, Fred. This brings me on to a lot of the time we see now, certainly from an advertisement point of view. If you go online or you go onto Facebook or you look at an advert, it'll give you this great long video that you've got to watch for 20 minutes, and then all of a sudden you go, oh, I've had enough of that, not interested in that. Or you go on to something and it's, oh, this is only going to cost you $9.99, and you go, oh, that's good, and yeah, I'll give, and then they add the next bit, and by the way, you can make it with fruit on top, and it'll cost you an extra $19.99, and then there's you got extra sprinkles, and by the way, they're totally another $47.99, and the price just adds up and adds up. We don't want marketing like this. We don't like marketing like this. As customers, we want a fair deal. We want a proper deal. And the biggest way I've ever seen to attract other customers is by referrals, by referring the business that you have. Word of mouth is so powerful. So at the end of the day, if you've got a company that's providing these products that are value for money, do exactly what they say on the tin, none of this rubbish that goes along with the advertisement, just straightforward, this is what it does, this is how we can help, great, here we go, that's the price. At a later date, they're going to look through that and go onto a platform and go, holy cow, look, there's so many more, I like this one, I'll have a look at that. But there's no pressure, there's none of that. And then they start talking to their friends, and the friends, you know, you've got a big smile on your face, what's the catch? What have you been sitting on today? No, actually, I found this beautiful product and I've been using it. It's really helped my business. Oh, great. Share it with me. This is how business expands. And this is exactly what we're trying to do, what Ash is trying to do. Provide value for money. And I'm going to give you a good example. We know one of the major video conferencing platforms charged $6,500 a month for 10,000 attendees. When ours came out, it was only $125. Now, things have changed since then. We all know that. But at the end of the day, it gives you a very good comparison of what we're trying to do. So, Collins, any further thoughts?
Yes, Andy. God, one thing I was just thinking was, resilience in any business. If we look at even the business we are in now, Mr. Ash Mufara, the head, what is he doing? He is steadfast. There is resilience. Never give up. He never allowed things to crush him or weigh him down. He's just like keep on moving. He always find new ways to learn. He always said, I'm not a Superman. I will learn every day. Mistake will come, but what will happen? We'll learn from it and we'll move on. And that is the reason we are still here. Like the very good topic said, why business fail and we don't. We've never failed because of the person we have in the likes of Mr. Ash Mufara, who will never give up because he learns and he moves. That's the beauty about every business. You learn from everything. There is no way you tell me you can put a business, even the most successful business, they all have made their own mistake internally. But what happened? Why are they still there? Because they learn from it. They change. You know, they move things around. You know, and they are still here 100 years ago. They are still there. You can call the like of IBM, call all those top. They are here because they are not super people. They learn from internal things and then they move on. They embrace changes, do stuff. And that's what Mr. Ashmufara is doing. You know, he's just there pushing and pushing, learning again with the tech team, and they're moving on. And like Red said, you know, when customers will see what will happen, it will be different. It will be a game changer. Because like Red said, you cannot put something and you think like customer will just come jump on it. You must give them what they want if you want to get something from them. You provide solutions because everybody wants solutions. I cannot buy something that will not help me. So what he is doing is he wants to put something that will wow the market, looking at companies. What do they really need? What is their problem? If I provide this, can this solve this problem? Yes. Like Red did a live. He said problem-solving solutions. What is their problem? This, solve it. I can give you something affordable that will take care of all these things that you are doing. You know, that's exactly, but it comes with pain. It comes with, you know, steadfast and resilience. And that's exactly where we are going. And finally, a lot of people will see, you know, what Mr. Ashmufara has been doing. You know, everything you do behind within technology, when they put it out, you forget about the pain. It's like childbirth. You don't think about pain anymore. Everyone will just be celebrating, forgetting the time. But everything you're doing is methodical. They look at it, dot everything, make sure you are going, because know that you are coming to the well, a well that customers are really, really, you know, tricky when it comes to what they want. They really know what they want. And thank God that we have somebody like Ashmufara. But for you to do this, there must be resilience, and you must learn as well as you move. And that's why the company is where we are today. So I'll give back to you.
Thanks, thanks, Collins. Yeah, I think the opportunity we have moving forward is probably as exciting, if not more exciting, than it was to begin with. And we know this time that because we're not going to make the mistakes that have gone on in the past, we're going to get to a certain stage before he starts telling us what's gone on in stage 1, once they've reached stage 10. So any final thoughts, Red? Anything you'd like to just add before we close?
I think the only thing I want to add before we close is that we need to remember we're not moving forward to something that is the same. We're not moving forward to something that is moving sideways or whatever. We're moving to something that's better. We're going to have better technology than what we had before. We're going to have better organization. Everything about where we're going to is going to be better than what we had before. And this is why I am excited about where we're moving to, because why wouldn't I be excited about moving to something better than it was before? Makes no sense to feel that we are revamping something which we're not. Remember, Ash said the only thing we are taking forward into the next phase is me and my name. Everything else is still there, but we're not taking it with us. Why? Because things have moved on. Technology's moved on. The way we do business has moved on. Products and services, applications. Remember that word, new word that he brought out. This is something that I think we're going to see more of. Applications, they provide solutions for so many businesses that products come from. And this is, I believe, what is going to be exciting about the next phase. We're going to have solutions for so many problems, and it's going to be absolutely amazing to see what they come up with, how they're going to work, and how we fit in to this amazing business that we're going to see. Back to you, Andy.
Thanks, Red. Any last comments that you'd like to add, Collins?
Yeah, so it's just, encouraging everyone to always keep an eye in your back office, your OES, because that's where you get all the information. Just keep an eye, because you never know. So that's the only thing I'll say, but great. Thanks, Red.
Thanks, Collins. Thanks, guys, for joining us today. Really appreciate that. And I think this is a very important aspect. That there are many, well, a huge proportion, as Red said, 90% of companies that set up on this online space end up not moving forward. We've been moving forward. Okay, we've had a couple of glitches along the way, but at the end of the day, we're still moving forward. And I love the opportunity that this is a new vehicle for us to entertain. A new Lamborghini, you could say, with new features. Yeah. It could be a Euros or an Aventador. I don't know which, but at least I can get into a Euros. I don't think I could get into an Aventador anymore. Wouldn't stop me trying. But thank you ever so much for joining us today. Hopefully you got something out of today, and we look forward to seeing you again next Tuesday. Fingers crossed. Thanks very much.